All right, so the first step of any data logger installation is going to be installing the probe buffer bottles into your fridge or freezer. This allows the bottle to climatize to the temperature of your fridge or freezer, minimizing any false alarms or additional time needing to wait because this bottle is still coming down to temperature of the fridge from room temperature. Next, we're going to install this into the center of the fridge or freezer. Now that we have installed our buffer bottle into our refrigerator, we can continue installing the rest of the LogTag external probe temperature recorder. I'm going to begin the installation by locating my wall mount bracket, inserting my LogTag into the bracket, and I've applied the included adhesive. So now I'm going to install my thermometer onto my vaccine fridge or freezer in a location that's visible to me or my staff, but also within a good distance of the probe pass-through port that allows us to pass our probe from the outside of the unit into the inside where we put our probe buffer bottle. Now that we have our data logger and the wall mount bracket placed on the refrigerator, it's time to install and route our probe cable. It is important to note that when installing our temperature probe, we always want to install it probe into the interior cabinet of the refrigerator. So probe first. So we're always installing our probe from the outside of the unit into the inside because this will not fit through most fridge pass-throughs. So that's a tip to make it a little bit easier. That's also why during the unboxing, we took off the cap and seal. And that is to allow us to fit this probe through that pass-through. I'm simply going to connect the probe to our logger. And I'm going to rest the logger into the wall mount bracket, which is set up in a way that allows you to remove and insert the logger within the bracket even if the probe is connected. So now that we have our probe inside the refrigerator, we will install the probe. So with these cables, they're best fished under the racking, and we like to pull them through above and then get them to where we like them, to where they will meet your bottle. Now we reinsert our bottle cap first, and then we install our probe seal next. And then once installed, it will look just like that. The seal will be underneath the lid. And now we simply remove our solid cap, and we'll insert the whole probe assembly into the bottle like so. Once we have our probe buffer bottle assembled, we want to attach the probe cable to our racking. We include extra zip ties so we can hold the cable down to the crossbar of our rack. So as you can see here, we've passed our probe through. We've passed it underneath our shelf racking, up and back into our bottle after assembling our probe cap and seal. And then we've secured our probe to the underside of the racking using 2 of the included zip ties. We've left the excess on just so it's easy to see them currently. And that's the finished installation of the probe itself. We're going to use our included zip ties and adhesive cable anchors. They have slots, so you can insert the zip tie in either direction. And then whatever you want to tie down cable-wise, you simply wrap them around and affix your zip tie, and that will give you a good secure mount. After clipping off the excess from our cable ties, installation of our LogTag temperature data logger is concluded.